Hello everybody and welcome to our course on joined handwriting. Our first session is going to be all about the letter C, which you can see here. C is part of our curly letter handwriting family. Now for the session, you'll need to find a calm space to work with a table where you can sit comfortably. You need some plain paper or a whiteboard. So you could choose plain paper or a whiteboard if you had one, but plain paper is fine, or plain scrap paper. Then you need either a sharp pencil or a handwriting pen. Either is fine. I'm going to use a handwriting pen because it'll be easier for you to see my writing. And you will also need some lined paper. Now I'll put a link in the description about where you can find this lined paper because it's important that the lines aren't too close together. Okay, so let's get started. Right, so we're going to start with our letter formation and thinking about where to start our letter and the direction our pen and our pencil should go in and where to finish our letter. I'd like you to start by drawing 6 dots on your piece of paper or on your whiteboard. These are going to be your starting points. Then you'll need to place your pen or your pencil onto the dot and you're going to go up, around in a curve, back down where you came from and hook. I'd like you to have a go at this 6 times. So starting the dot up and around in a curve, back around where you came from and hook. You don't need to think too much about size at this stage. We'll practice that in stage 2. What's important is that you start on the dot, you go up, round in a curve, and this one's going to be quite a big one. And then you come back round and into your hook. So starting on the dot, up and round in a curve, go back round and into your hook. Do a minimum of 6. If you wanted to do more, keep practicing and practicing and practicing before you go on to stage 2. Now choose the one that you liked the best by putting a little tick above it. I think my first one was my best one. It looks slightly neater than the others to me, but they're all quite similar. Well done for completing stage 1. So going to move into stage 2 now, where we practice our letter C on lined paper. It's important that we do think about size in stage 2. We don't want our writing to be too big or too small. So I'm going to start off with some common mistakes. You can see in this first letter there isn't enough curve at the top of the letter. Remember, you need to go up and around in a curve before you go back down and then into the hook. This second letter is flying in the sky, so it's important that the letters are resting on the line. And in this third letter I'm getting a bit carried away with my lead in and lead out lines. It's important not to go over the top with these as they can end up looking a bit messy. So to practice the letter C now, start on the line, up, round in a curve, down and hook. On the line, round in a curve and back down and hook. Just make sure that you curve round enough at the top of the letter. Have a go at writing at least 6 of these just to get that practice and to perfect your letter C. Once you've written your 6 letter C's or more, choose your best one, give it a tick and have a think about why it might be your best letter C. I'm going to choose mine now. I'm not sure which one my favourite is. I think maybe the second one, though they're all quite similar. So if you're pleased with your letter formation of the letter C, you can now go on to stage 3. Now we're going to go into stage 3 now. It's important for me to say that you need to be really confident with stages 1 and 2 before you start joining. So if you're finding those 2 stages a bit tricky still, don't worry, just keep practicing and practicing and practicing. You'll get there and then come back and complete stage 3 and stage 4. Now sometimes, because we say to children, start each letter on the line, and when they come to joining, they sometimes go back to the line in between each letter. So it's important to know that we go from our hook straight into our next letter. Our hook becomes our lead-in line for the letter that comes after it. Children can also squeeze their letters too closely together when they're joining. It's really important that they have that hook and leading line so their letters are still nicely spaced out. Have a go at drawing 6 groups of 3 letter C's now. Here's my first set of 3. So start on the line, curve round into your C, back round and hook, which then becomes the lead-in for our next letter C. Starting on the line, round in a curve, hook, round in a curve, hook, round in a curve. Do 6 of these. Make sure your letters aren't too close together and that they're not too far apart either. Make sure they're not too small and make sure they're not too big. On my 6th set now, but I'm going to do one more set here on the line, curving round to my hook, curving round into my hook, curving round and into my hook. Now I'm going to choose the one which I like the most, and I think that's this one here, although they're all quite similar. Make sure you choose the one you like the most too. I'm just going to do one more, curving round and a hook, curving round and hook. In fact, I think that one is actually a bit neater. But yeah, just keep practicing and well done for completing stage 3. So we're going to go into stage 4 now, which is about writing a sentence. Don't worry too much about the letters we've not practiced yet, but I would like you to really focus on your letter C. It would also be really good to focus on the size of your letters, making sure that they're consistent. Okay, so the sentence we're going to write is cats can eat cake. There's my capital C, which you see is twice the size pretty much of my letter A. Just writing my cats, making sure my S isn't too high. And here's my first lowercase c, curling round, and my hook went into my letter A. Can eat. Got my finger spaces between each word. And my second lowercase c, up, round in a curve, back and into my hook, which goes into my letter A. And there's my sentence, cats can eat cake. Another go now, just to see if I can get it any neater, starting with my capital letter. Because the more I practice, the easier it's going to come to me, the faster that I write, and the more I can concentrate on what I'm writing about, or on my spelling, punctuation, and my grammar. So keep practicing your handwriting as much as you can, and remember that C, as you go up you curve round, back, and then lead it into your A. And there we go. You can also use stage 4 to experiment a bit with your handwriting. So for example, I'm going to try adding a slant to my writing now by leaning the letters forward slightly. So doing my capital C there, and my letters aren't going straight up, they're just slanted or leaning slightly forwards. If you do this, it's important that you do the same to each letter and that it's consistent. You don't want it slanting one way, slanting another way, going straight up. The letters all need to have the same amount of slant, otherwise it will look messy. So just be really careful if you do decide to experiment with having a bit of a slant and leaning some of your letters forwards or backwards. I'm going to choose my favourite letter C now, which I think is this one, because it's got a nice curve on the top of the letter, and so that's my favourite letter C. Well done everybody, good effort, see you later, bye bye.